Chaitanya Jaya Nityānanda Jayādvaita-candra Jaya gaura-bhakta-vṛnda Jaya Jaya Śrī Caitanya Jaya Nityānanda Jayādvaita-candra Jaya gaura-bhakta-vṛnda Jaya Jaya Śrī Caitanya Jaya Nityānanda Jayādvaita-candra Jaya gaura-bhakta-vṛnda Śrī Caitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Om Ajnanatirmirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Caitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityānanda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vṛnda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I welcome you to today's Sri Caitanya Charitamrita session. Today is May 13th, 2026. And we just completed chapter 9 of the Madhya Leela of Sri Caitanya Charitamrita, which is Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's travels to the holy places in South India. So we concluded that chapter and we went back and revised the entire chapter once again. Anyone who hears that is assured of getting, I'll tell you exactly what it says. Just 1 second. In Falashruti of the 9th chapter, it is said that whoever hears, this is 360, verse 360, whoever hears of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu's pilgrimage to various holy places attains the wealth or the riches of deep ecstatic love. That means Chaitanya Charane Pai Gadha Prema Dhana. You will get the wealth of Gadha Prema, condensed Prema for Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet, if you hear this chapter. That is why we revised that chapter once again. We went back and read the whole chapter, just the translations. So now Mahaprabhu has come back. So what we read towards the end of the chapter is Mahaprabhu returned to Jagannath Purī after traveling in South India for 6 years. Mahaprabhu has now come back. So we saw how the devotees came and met with Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Then Mahaprabhu took darshan of Lord Jagannātha, and Sarvabhauma Bhattacarya invited Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu to take prasad at his place. So Mahaprabhu, along with all the devotees, went to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's house. They took lunch. And then that night, Mahaprabhu stayed there in Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's house to please him. And along with Mahaprabhu, all the devotees also stayed there and nobody slept. All night long, Mahaprabhu told them about his pilgrimage. So that's how that chapter ended. So now Mahaprabhu is back in Jagannath Purī. The next chapter is entitled the Lord's return to Jagannath Puri. So maybe I can just give you the highlights, because these chapters are so long. I think it will help if we just go over what the highlights of the chapter are. That will help us. So I will just quickly read what all will be covered in this chapter. While Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu was traveling in South India, Sarvabhauma Bhattacarya had many talks with King PRATAPARUDRA. When Maharaj PRATAPARUDRA requested the Bhattacharya to arrange an interview with the Lord, the Bhattacharya assured him that he would try to do so as soon as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returned from South India. So you see, the king, PRATAPARUDRA Maharaj, was also a great devotee of the Lord. He was a devotee of Lord Jagannātha, and when he heard about Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu, so now he also got a desire. So he wants to meet with Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu. So that pastime will come here. Bhattacharya assured him that he would try to do so as soon as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returned from South India. When the Lord returned to Jagannath Puri from his South Indian tour, he lived at the home of Kashi Mishra. Remember Kashi Mishra? When Mahaprabhu returned, he came and fell on the lotus feet of Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu embraced him. So he lived at the home of Kashi Mishra. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya introduced many Vaishnavas to Śrī Caitanya. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya introduced many Vaishnavas to Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu after his return. The father of Ramananda Rai, Bhavananda Rai, offered another son named Vaninath Pattanayaka for the Lord's service. Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu informed his associates about the pollution of Krishnadas brought about by his association with the Bhattatharis, and thus the Lord proposed to give him leave. Let him go now. So Mahaprabhu brought him back because it was his responsibility, Krishnadas. But after he brought him back to Jagannath Puri, he said, now send him away. Nityānanda Prabhu sent Krishnadas to Bengal to inform the Navadvip devotees about the Lord's return to Jagannath Puri. So Nityānanda Prabhu, just see how merciful. Mahaprabhu said, just send him away. But Nityānanda Prabhu, he's really our, because we are also fallen. But he doesn't leave us. The most fallen people also, he gives some opportunity or the other. He engages them in some way or the other to stay in Krishna consciousness. If it were not for Lord Nityānanda Prabhu, what hope do any of us have in Kali Yuga? Even the 4 simple regulative principles could not be followed properly by the members. But still, Srila Prabhupada did not reject anyone, just find a place for them, for all types of people, and let them be connected to Krishna consciousness. That doesn't mean you just bring everyone and keep them in the temple, but you can find a place for them. He did not reject anyone. He did not reject anyone. At the same time, maintaining the high standard, but also not rejecting. Nityānanda Prabhu is so merciful. So here, Krishnadas, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, send him away. But Nityānanda Prabhu, what did he do? He engaged him in some service. There are many such instances in Srila Prabhupada's pastimes also we see. When he punished somebody for doing something wrong, that punishment turned out to be an opportunity to progress in Krishna consciousness. Not that by punishment the person is sent away from Krishna consciousness, but the punishment actually served to help that person, was just an opportunity to serve the Lord in another capacity, which only made that devotee glorious. Finding the right service for the devotee. So what did Nityānanda Prabhu do? He sent Krishnadas to Bengal to inform the Navadvip devotees about the Lord's return to Jagannath Puri. All the devotees of Navadvip thus began arranging to come to Jagannath Puri. Mahaprabhu has come back after 6 years. At this time, Paramananda Puri was in Navadvip. Remember Paramananda Puri? Mahaprabhu met Paramananda Puri in his South India tour. when he was on the Rishabha Hills, he met Paramananda Puri. And then Paramananda Puri said that he was headed towards Jagannath Puri. From there, he was going to go to Ganges. So then Mahaprabhu said, please, if you can come back to Jagannath Puri, I will be very happy. I would like to spend time with you. So that's how it was decided. So at this time, Paramananda Puri was at Navadvip. So he went to the Ganges. He was in Navadvip. And immediately upon hearing news of the Lord's return, he started for Jagannath Puri, accompanied by a Brahmana named Kamalakanta. Purushottam Bhattacharya. So all this we are going to see in this chapter. Okay. Purushottam Bhattacharya, a resident of Navadvip, was educated at Varanasi. He accepted the renounced order from Chaitanyananda, but he took the name of Swarupa. Thus he arrived at the lotus feet of Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu. After the demise of Sri Ishwarapuri, his disciple Govinda, following his instructions, went to serve Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu. Due to his relationship with Keshav Bharati, Brahmananda Bharati was also respectfully received by Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu. Brahmananda Bharati. So who are all the devotees that came and joined Mahaprabhu is being said, and under what circumstances, what is the situation, and who the devotees are, like that. So Keshav Bharati, that means Brahmananda Bharati, because of his relationship with Keshav Bharati, he came and joined Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu. When he arrived at Jagannath Puri, he was advised to give up the deerskin clothing he wore. Brahmananda Bharati was wearing deerskin clothing, so he was advised to give up that. When Brahmananda understood Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu correctly, he accepted him as Krishna himself. However, when Sarvabhauma Bhattacarya addressed Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu as Krishna, the Lord immediately protested. In the meantime, Kashishwar Goswami also came to see Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu. In this chapter, devotees from many different areas come to see Chaitanya Mahāprabhu, and they are exactly like many rivers that come from many places to finally flow into the sea. So what is the main theme, main subject of this chapter? Various devotees coming and joining Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu in Jagannath Puri. Okay? Mahaprabhu's associates. So now, how different devotees, like all the rivers coming and entering into the ocean or into the sea. Like that, various devotees from different parts are coming and joining with Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu in Jagannath Puri. That's the topic here, chapter 10. So now we'll begin. The Lord's return to Jagannath Puri, text 1. Tam vande gaura-jaladaṁ svasya yo darśanāmṛtaiḥ vicchedāvagraha-mlāna bhakta-śasyāny ajīvayat. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Lord Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu, who is compared to a cloud that pours water on fields of grain, which are like devotees suffering due to a shortage of rain. The fields, crops, fields of grain are devotees suffering due to shortage of rain. And Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu is the cloud that is pouring rain on these fields. Separation from Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu is like a drought. Drought, where there is no rain, that's drought. So separation from Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu is like a drought. But when the Lord returns, his presence is like a nectarean rain that falls on all the grains and saves them from perishing. So the condition of the devotees when Mahaprabhu was not there in Jagannath Puri, when he went to travel in South India, the condition of the devotees was like a field that is drying up because of not getting rain. So it is just on the verge of dying when the cloud comes and pours water. So the devotees were in such great separation from Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu. When he returned, it was like life coming back to them. So that's the meaning of this verse. This is by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Jaya Jaya Śrī Caitanya Jaya Nityānanda Jayādvaita-candra Jaya gaura-bhakta-vṛnda Jaya Jaya Śrī Caitanya, Jaya Nityānanda. All glories to Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu, all glories to Nityānanda Prabhu. Jaya Advaita-candra, all glories to the moon, Advaitacharya. Jaya gaura-bhakta-vṛnda, all glories to the assembly of the devotees of Lord Gauranga. Jaya gaura-bhakta-vṛnda. That's how we say, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees. That is gaura-bhakta-vṛnda. All glories to Lord Caitanya, all glories to Nityānanda Prabhu, all glories to Advaitacandra, and all glories to all the devotees of Lord Caitanya. Purve jabe Mahaprabhu chalila dakhine, Prataparudra Raja tabe bolaila Sarvabhaume. Purve, in the past, previously, jabe Mahaprabhu chalila dakhine, when Mahaprabhu had left for his South India tour, Prataparudra Raja tabe bolaila Sarvabhaume. At that time, when Mahaprabhu had left, the king Prataparudra Maharaj had called for Sarvabhauma Bhattacarya. When Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu departed for South India, King Prataparudra called Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya to his palace. Purve jabe Mahaprabhu chalila dakhine, Prataparudra Raja tabe bolaila Sarvabhaume. He called for Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Bosite asana dilo kori namaskare, Mahaprabhura varta tabe puchila tahare. Who is Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya? Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is in a very high position. He is the person in charge of Jagannātha temple. And the king, Prataparudra Maharaj, he wanted to get some information. So he called for Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So when he came, Bosite asane dilo. So when Sarvabhauma, first he summoned Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, called for Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. When he came, he offered him a seat to sit. Bosite asana dilo. Kori namaskare. And very respectfully, he offered obeisances to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is a priest like a guru, right? And a brahmana. So the king respectfully offered him a seat and offered obeisances. Kori namaskara. Mahaprabhura varta tabe puchilo tahare. Then he inquired about Mahaprabhu, Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Remember, Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu stayed there only for 2 months. He left, he took sannyas during Makar Sankranti in the month of Magh. And then he traveled for some time, short time. So he took sannyas in Katwa. Then he started going towards Vrindavan. But actually they went up to Radhadesh. They turned around and came back to Shantipur. Then in Shantipur, Mahaprabhu stayed a few days. And then he started off to go to Jagannath Puri. Instead of going to Vrindavan on the request of Sachimata, he started walking towards Jagannath Puri. So that took a few days walking to Jagannath Puri. And when Mahaprabhu arrived in Jagannath Puri, it was Dola Purnima. That means Gaur Purnima time. So he celebrated that festival there, Dola Yatra in Jagannath Puri. And then in Chaitra, that means March, April, he met with that famous conversation between Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu took place. And soon after that, Mahaprabhu left for South India. So hardly 2 months Mahaprabhu stayed. But it was obvious when Mahaprabhu came to Jagannath Puri, the type of influence that he had, it was very clear. So after Mahaprabhu left, now the king, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, wanted to know, because not Sarvabhauma, Prataparudra Maharaj, he wanted to know about Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu, and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya had arranged for Mahaprabhu's stay and everything. So he was the contact person. So the king called for Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya to find out who is this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and, more details. So Mahaprabhura Varta tabe puchila tahare. He asked him. Bosite asana dilo kori namaskare. Mahaprabhura Varta tabe puchilo tahare. When Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya met with the king offered him a seat with all respects and inquired about news of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shunilaya tomara ghare eka mahashay gauda hoite ailate ho mahakripamoy. Shunilam, I heard, the king is saying, PRATAPARUDRA Maharaj is telling Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Shunilam tomar ghare ek mahashay gauda hoite aila. I hear that one mahashay, that means one great personality from Gauda, that means from Bengal, had come to your house. Shunilam tomar ghare ek mahashay gauda hoite aila, right? Via Bengal, right? I heard one great personality has come to your house via Bengal. Teho mahakripamoy, and that he is extremely merciful. So some sadhu, a great sadhu has come to your house who is extremely merciful, like this. PRATAPARUDRA Maharaj started like this, inquiring from Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Shunilam tomar ghare ek mahashay gauda hoite aila teho mahakripamoy, and that he is very, very merciful. The king said to the Bhattacharya, I have heard that a great personality has come from Bengal and is staying at your house, at your home. I have also heard that he is very, very merciful. Yeah, he has come. Aila means he has come to your house. Tomare bahu kripa koila. Tomare bahu kripa koila. Kohe sarvajan. And all the people tell me that he has shown great mercy on you. So we know, after that talk, even in the beginning, very beginning, how did Mahaprabhu even go to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's house? Do you remember? Anyone remembers? How Mahaprabhu ended up in Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's house?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu fainted in the temple.
I'm not hearing. 1 second, Mataji. I think my Bluetooth is on. 1 second. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Can you hear now? It's audible now?
Yes, I can hear you now. Yes, Mataji.
Okay. So, Mataji, when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was taking darshan in Jagannath Purī, that time he fainted, and then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya took him to his house.
Yes, that's how. So he was amazed seeing the ecstatic symptoms of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He understood, and also the pandas, not the pandas, the palas, right? The attendants there, they were like, that this person is creating some commotion. So they were ready to take some action. And then Mahaprabhu stopped them. And he could see this is, the symptoms of ecstasy that were manifest on the person of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. These were not ordinary symptoms. You couldn't find such symptoms in this world in anyone. You cannot find in human beings these type of symptoms. So he understood this is a great personality, and he had them bring Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to his house like that. And meanwhile, the other devotees who were traveling with Mahaprabhu, they were behind because of Nityānanda Prabhu's breaking the sannyas danda. Mahaprabhu said, either I won't go with you. Either you go before me or you come behind me, but I won't go with you. So that's why they were behind. They said, you go first. So Mahaprabhu arrived first. So when Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was taking Mahaprabhu's body, his servants were carrying. Just at that time, the devotees arrived. They didn't see Mahaprabhu, but they saw that there was a big, commotion there, and means a large gathering. People were going. And then Gopinath Acharya, the brother-in-law of Sarvabhauma Bhattacarya, knew the devotees from Bengal, Mukunda specifically. So then when they met, then he asked, where is Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu? Then Gopinath Acharya said, they took him to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's house. So they didn't even go inside the temple. They just turned up, right at the Simhadwaram. When they met, they saw, and then they just followed, and they went to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's house. And then they performed kirtan, and after several hours, Mahaprabhu came back, and then, prasadam was arranged and everything. Then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya arranged for the residence of Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu, his, I think, Masi's house, like that, which was just there, so all arrangements were there. So Mahaprabhu stayed there during that time. And then devotees would invite him to take prasadam, like that. He would go to Jagannātha temple every day. And then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, I'm just giving you a recap because we are going to talk a lot about Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was quite concerned, actually. He's so young, he's so handsome, and he's a sannyasi. It's difficult to maintain sannyas, unless you really absorb yourself in the study of Vedanta. So he was talking to Gopinath Acharya and Mukunda that, I can teach him because, and also he was saying, he was inquiring, he was very attracted to Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu. So he was inquiring, what is his background, before taking sannyas, where is he from, and where did he take his sannyas, which school, they have different schools of sannyas. So then when he found out from Bharati Sampradaya, Bharati school, so, that's not a first-class school. I can get him reinitiated from Saraswati sannyas school because that is a prestigious one. Like that, he was talking. And also, he should be studying more. He should absorb himself in the study of Vedanta. Otherwise, it's hard to maintain sannyas, like that. And the devotees were like, what is he talking about? He doesn't need Vedanta, or he doesn't need this sannyas. He doesn't need that. He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now they have a debate. Where does it say that he's the Supreme Lord? The Supreme Lord comes only in 3 yugas. Where does it say in Shastra? Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is saying that the Supreme Lord comes in Kali Yuga. He's only 3-yugi. They have some discussion there. And then he becomes very, Gopinath Acharya becomes very serious and he argues. And then after some time, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, because brothers-in-law, they have this tendency of, arguing with each other, challenging each other playfully. So then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya just laughed at one point and he said, okay, calm down. We are just having a, discussion. You don't have to become so angry, like that. He just brushed it aside. But then Gopinath Acharya and Mukunda went to Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu and said, this is what he said about you. You know what Mahaprabhu said? What is wrong with what he said? He's very concerned about me. He's like a father. The way a father wants to protect the child, that's how he feels for me. He's a senior and he's a very, respectful person. And out of affection, he wants to teach me. There's nothing wrong with that. And then the next day when they go to Jagannath Puri, there Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is personally taking them, showing them. And then he tells him that I want to teach you the Vedanta. So then Mahaprabhu very kindly, he says, I'm so fortunate that, you are, that you want to teach me, you want to protect me. Please teach me, like that. And then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya begins teaching, but he is a Mayavadi philosopher, from Advaita school. And he goes on and on and on and on for 10 days. Mahaprabhu has no expression on his face. He doesn't do like this, nor does he do like this. He's just blank, just listening. And after 10 days, he says, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya says, I don't get any indication after speaking from you, whether you have understood or if you have not understood, or you agree with what I said. I don't get any indication from you. So then Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu said, I have no problem understanding the sutras themselves. The Vedanta sutras are very clear, like sunlight. But the explanation, the commentary that you give, that's very misleading. I don't understand your commentary. So anyway, that was a very long chapter. It went on for several weeks. So by the end of that discussion, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was completely defeated. But again, Mahaprabhu's personality is so wonderful. He went the next day to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's house. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was fasting. And Mahaprabhu brought Mahaprasadam. He just woke up. And when he saw Mahaprabhu, he just woke up from bed. When he saw Mahaprabhu, he just went and fell on his feet. Of course, by this time, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was convinced after all that debate and everything. And then Mahaprabhu gave him Mahaprasad. And he just, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, you should know, he is the greatest scholar of Bengal. He had gone to Mithila and he studied the most difficult topic, subject matter. And Mithila used to be the center of learning in those days. But they would not allow the students to take notes, nor would they give them any books. You can just sit there and hear. That's all. You can learn and go. But you will not be given any books, or you will not be allowed to make any copy notes. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was so brilliant. He went, he listened, he studied, kept everything in his memory. He came back to Bengal, opened his own school and taught that subject. Therefore, he was the only person who could teach that subject. He is so learned that even the sannyasis come to study under him. But the only thing is, he would teach the Advaita philosophy. So he's a very respected person. That's the point. Very learned in the scriptures. So when Mahaprabhu came with Mahaprasad of Jagannātha in the morning, he immediately offered obeisances and started honoring. And Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu said, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, you didn't brush your teeth, you didn't take bath, how you're honoring? So then he quotes a verse from Shastra saying that when Mahaprasadam comes, Mahaprasad is directly the mercy of the Supreme Lord. It should be honored immediately, no other considerations. When Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu heard this from, that means, you see, somebody being a Mayavadi has turned completely into a devotee. Now he has so much faith in the Mahaprasadam of the Supreme Lord. He didn't even consider. They follow rules, regulations very strictly. Doing your Sandhya, Vandanam and all, everything. Following these rules, that rules, everything. But now, topmost is bhakti. This is the Lord's Mahaprasadam. So, when Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu saw that, he said, today, this is my victory. Because Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya has, glorified and has understood the glory of Jagannath's Mahaprasadam, that means he has turned to bhakti now. So he said, this is a great victory. It's not easy to convince Mayavadis. It takes Prakashananda Saraswati, Sarvabhauma Bhattacarya. These are such, you can say like tough cookies, right? It's not easy to convince them. Only it took Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu to actually turn them around to devotional service. So that's why Mahaprabhu said it was his great victory that the great Sarvabhauma Bhattacarya has now taken. And then when he became a devotee, he became such a devotee. Anyway, we can go on and on and on about the different things that we read, but just to give you a little introduction of what we already read about Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. He also wrote 100, shlokas in glorification of Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu, Śrī Caitanya Shataka. And this is verses, 100 verses, that Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu is actually Krishna himself. And when Mahaprabhu wanted to go to South India, he was completely devastated. He said, no, I cannot live without you. So please stay for some more time, because it would be too shocking if he left all of a sudden. Then to pacify Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Mahaprabhu stayed back 10 more days. He stayed a few days more, about 10, 15 days. He stayed back, spent time with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. He was there in his house. And then he left. Even when he left, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya gave, arranged for his clothes and everything. And also told Mahaprabhu to make sure to meet Ramananda Rai when he went to South India. But when Mahaprabhu went, finally, he just fainted. So this is Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So when Mahaprabhu came back, what did he say? I went to South India, I met so many Vaishnavas, but I haven't met even one person who's as good as you. And then he said, of course, Ramananda Rai, except for Ramananda Rai. He gave me so much pleasure. So this is Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So therefore now, it is a known fact, the intimacy, that what is the king saying here? Prataparudra Maharaj is saying, I hear that you received a lot of mercy from Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu. Also, the same time when Mahaprabhu gave that Jagannath's Mahaprasad, he brought to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. At that time only, Mahaprabhu revealed his Shadabhuja Gauranga form to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. He actually showed him the six-armed form. So now the king is saying, I hear that you received a lot of mercy from that Mahashay who came from Bengal to your house, who is very, very merciful. So now he wants to know more. So this is how the king started the conversation. He's saying that, Tomare bahu kripa koila kohe sarvajan. All people tell me, everybody says that sadhu, that great person, has showered you with his mercy. Tomare bahu kripa koila. He gave you a lot of mercy. Kohe sarvajan. Kripa kori koraho more tahara darshan. Since you got so much mercy, please have some mercy on me and kindly, I would like to get his darshan, right? That means is it okay to say to get his audience? Not that Mahaprabhu should see him, but he wants to see Mahaprabhu. So can we say that he wanted to get audience of Mahaprabhu? Maybe not. But you understand. He wants to go and see Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu. Please arrange, somehow have mercy on me so that I'll get a chance to see him, maybe talk to him, like that. Arrange for a meeting, or at least let me get some darshan with Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu. Because you are a close associate. You got a lot of mercy from Mahaprabhu. He stayed in your house, and he has given you so much mercy. You are so dear to him. Kindly have some mercy on me. कृपा कोरी कराहो मोरे ताहार दर्शन. मेरा भी दर्शन करा दीजिए उनका. Let me also get darshan of him. Like that. I have also heard that this great personality has shown you great favor. At any rate, this is what I hear from many different people. Now, being merciful upon me, you should do me the favor of arranging an interview. Yes. Bhatta kohe je shunila sabha satya hoy. So Sarvabhauma Bhatta. Bhatta means Sarvabhauma Bhattacarya. So Bhatta, in short. Bhatta kohe je shunila sabha satya hoy. Tahara darshana tomara ghatana na hoy. So, it's true. Whatever you have heard is all true. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, Jai Shunila Saba Satya Hoy. Whatever you have heard, it is all true. Tar darshana tomara ghatana na hoy. Getting his darshan or getting an interview with him will not happen. Tara darshana tomar means you getting his darshan. Ghatana na hoy. Like this cannot happen. Ghatana na hoy. It won't happen. Why? Mahaprabhu is a sannyasi. Even as a grihastha, we discussed this before also, he's very strict in following etiquette. As a grihastha, he would never look at women, he would never joke with women, he would never tease them or, nothing. Very, very respectful. Etiquette. Strictly he followed etiquette. So now as a sannyasi also, a sannyasi should not meet with materialistic people. Materialistic people means those who are dealing with money, power, women. He should not associate with them. A king is naturally, this is a principle actually, that what business does a sannyasi have? Does he have to ask something of the king? Why should he go to the king? So he wouldn't have anything to do with the king. Why is this principle, do you know? Those who are in the renounced order of life, they are forbidden to it's a different thing. Like Sukadeva Goswami visits, but even when he visited, for how long he would visit? Only for as long as it took to milk a cow. They will come for madhukari, right? But even that, they are coming not because they are in need of it. To give you some mercy, they come. They take some donation and then they leave. That's all. By their mercy, so that you will be reminded of Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, grihasthas, they're always busy with their household and material dealings, families, and they don't get a break from that. So when sannyasis happen to come, it's, they just come for a short time to remind you of Krishna consciousness. That's all. But why sadhus, brahmacharis, sannyasis, they should not attend like social gatherings or go to wealthy people's homes is you can get attracted to those things, to those comforts. You may get a desire that, oh, how nice it will be. Your mind will get polluted. We are reading in Bhagavad Gita about the modes of material nature. They are living in the mode of goodness. Sadhus means they are living in the mode of goodness and even transcending that. By their spiritual practices, they are actually working on transcending. But wealth, opulence, power, women, this is mode of passion. Kshatriya bodies, they are made of the mode of passion. Brahmana bodies are made of goodness. Kshatriya bodies are made of passion. So that's why we will see even, and of course, Kshatriyas must be guided by Brahmanas, but they don't depend on the Kshatriya in the sense that, they don't get a salary or anything. No, they stay outside. We will see. Many, gurus, the priest of the guru of the king, he will stay in his own ashram outside, not that is maintained by the king and all that. Otherwise, they cannot maintain their purity. And for a brahmachari, it is said he should not attend weddings, even if it is his own brother or sister, family member, he shouldn't go home and, or attend weddings, because two things can happen. The brahmachari's mind can get turned that by seeing the wedding, he may see many girls come there, he may get attracted to somebody and he may desire to get married. That's one problem. The other problem is that the groom who's about to get married, seeing this brahmachari and his effulgence, he may desire to, why am I getting into this, married life? I want to live like that. So he can also change his mind. So what about all those marriage arrangements and everything? So that is why sadhus should be kept aside. Always you will see brahmacharis, vanaprasthas, sannyasis, they have to live outside. They have their own ashrams. There's no intermingling. So that's why here Sarvabhauma Bhattacarya is saying, Prataparudra Maharaj wanted an interview with Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu. He said, this is not happening. All that you have said is true, but as far as an interview is concerned, it is very difficult to arrange. It is said, ghatana na hoy. It is not happening. Matlab, ye ho hi nahi sakta jaisa. Tar darshan tomar ghatana na hoy. That is not happening. You getting an interview with him, that's not possible. Virakta sannyasi te ho rohena nirjane swapneha nakorena te ho raja darshane. Virakta sannyasi, renounced sannyasis, te ho. So Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu is a renounced sannyasi. Virakta. Virakta means detached. He's a detached sannyasi. Rahena nirjane. He resides away from society, right? Away from society. That's how sannyasis are supposed to reside. Not in society. They live outside village, when somebody takes sannyas, there are 4 stages of a sannyasi. Kutichak, Bahudak, Parivrajacacharya and Paramahamsa. These are the 4 levels of advancement for a sannyasi. So first you're a brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha and then sannyasi. So vanaprastha means now you are gradually, so from the age of 50, you start relieving yourself from family responsibilities, social responsibilities, obligations. You don't take interest in those things anymore. Even if you are in the house, you don't get involved in the matters. Weddings and business and family quarrels and property issues, nothing. You don't get involved in any of that. Now you're preparing to leave the family. So that should start already. If you have a date on a particular date when you're supposed to leave, you have your flight to go somewhere, let's say an international flight. What to speak of? This will be a permanent change, isn't it? Lifestyle change. Let's say you're vacating your apartment or your house to go to another one. That means you have to move out now. Now you have a certain day when you're supposed to give the key. How many days before that will you start preparing? It's not that on that day you will start packing everything. You have to do it before that day. You have to hand over. So 50 years when it is said, that means preparation should start before itself. Because when I'm 50, I should leave. That's what Shastra is saying. So anyway, so preparation starts. How the preparation starts? You start relieving yourself of all responsibilities in the family. Just upar se, externally you're doing. No attachment for sure. That shouldn't be at any time. But at least now, no more attachments. Oh, my child, my grandchildren, my this and my property and my family. No. We should come out of all that now. 50. And then, so that is, and then they leave home also. Husband and wife, taking the wife, because she also has to prepare. Even though she stays at home, she also doesn't get involved. She'll just have her, she'll do her worship and she'll have her Bhagavad Gita, her mala, and she's just there in the side. She's maintained by the son, grown-up children, but she doesn't get involved because you also have to prepare to give up this body. So first, husband and wife, they leave home and they go on pilgrimage to holy places. Go, come back, stay for a few days and again go. Most of the time they're outside in pilgrimage, going to holy places. Preparing your consciousness, detaching from this world and becoming more and more connected to the Lord. That's Vanaprastha. After that, what does he do? I'm explaining to you how sannyas proceeds. So then when he comes back, he will leave his wife in the house and now he accepts sannyas. He prepared her consciousness also. He'll leave her at home and now he will take sannyas. How does he proceed with sannyas, So first of all, he will not live in the house anymore. Not in the village also. He will make a small kutia outside the village. So this is the first step of depending on the Lord. For your protection and all, you're not concerned. You're living alone. This is sannyas life, living alone. Sannyas means you're depending on the Lord completely. So outside the village, alone, that's why it said nirjane, where no people are there. He'll construct his little cottage and he will stay there. But since he has been a grihastha all this time, he's not used to begging yet. Go door to door and beg. He's not, all of a sudden he may not be able to do that. So his prasadam will come from home. That's all. No other dealings. Once a day, maybe his son, somebody will come and leave his prasad at home. So that it's like easing him into that ashram. Again, I just remember this, when you send your children to the dorm, because Mataji is here, I remember that. My children didn't go to dorm, but I know from Mataji's experience. When you leave your children there, your daughter in the dorm, you pack their food, for the whole week. And then she comes home once a week. And then again, when she goes, you send her prasad like that. So you're helping her get acclimatized, get used to that new environment where now she has to handle. And after a few years now, she can even go to other cities and she can manage. So like that, family is helping. Here in this case, the family is helping the sannyasi get acclimatized, right? Get used to that lifestyle. But all of a sudden, immediately, it will be difficult. So they'll send food from home once a day like that. But then that's not a permanent situation. That's what we have to remember always, even in our Krishna consciousness. We should always keep the goal in mind. We are given some concession. Srila Prabhupada says this. I read it recently. I forget where because I'm reading from different places. But Srila Prabhupada says this. Yes, Krishna gives us concession. He's very kind. But better to not use that concession, he says. It's better to not use it. Of course, the concession is there. That means if you use that concession, there's nothing wrong. This is Krishna's kindness. He gives you some concession. All right, no problem. This is for fasting. Observing fasting on Ekadasi, Srila Prabhupada was saying that you can actually, when people fast, the system is to not even eat anything, not even drink water. Srila Prabhupada is saying, this is how one observes Ekadasi fast. But Krishna is so kind. He gives us some concession. So you drink water. Drinking water is considered fasting and not fasting. No problem. You can either drink water. Even if you drink water, it can still be considered fasting. Just see. With that, he's saying, Krishna is so kind. He gives us concession. And of course, we got even more than that, right? You eat some fruit also, no problem. That is also Ekadasi. Different levels are there. Okay, you can eat some summer rice also. So concession is there. But what is the point? Better to not use that concession. Like you have some health issue or something, you have to use that, or you're not able to function, you're not able to do even your devotional service. Yes, that happens also sometimes, right? Then, okay, take something basic. But the Ekadasi means fasting. Ekadasi activity. Your devotional service. Upavas, what does upavas mean? Upa means close. Vas means staying. Upavas does not mean starving. Upavas means staying close to the lotus feet of the Lord. We just give a completely different meaning to that. Upavas. Upavas means more and more time spent at the lotus feet of the Lord. Upa, near, vas, staying near the Lord. Chant more, read more, hear more. This is upavas. Whether it is Janmashtami, Narsimha Chaturdasi, Ekadasi. That's the idea of upavas. So if you have to cook and shop and cut and everything, it takes up so much of your time. So therefore, no eating, just simply chanting all. That's how devotees used to observe Ekadasi. That was the standard. But still, Krishna is very kind, Srila Prabhupada is saying. And he gives us some concession. Why he gives us concession? Because he's so kind. Even if you drink water, it is still fasting, no problem. Like that. But his point is, better to not use that concession. Better to not use it. If you can, better. So that's why I'm saying, keep the goal in mind. I'm not able to do right now. Okay, it's understandable. But I should be moving inch by inch, gradually towards the goal. Not that, oh, I've been given this concession. Now this is my permanent situation. I will eternally stay with this now because we've been given this concession. That will not be, our progress will be very, very slow that way. If you keep the goal in mind and if you're moving there slowly, okay, you have some obstacles immediately, you're not able to go, but keep your eye always on the goal, where you're going. My goal is 24 hours devotional service, 24 hours meditation on Krishna, always being Krishna conscious. And whatever I need to get there, what do we need to get there? We need mercy of devotees. We have to hear the glories of bhakti from those devotees who have it. You hear from Srila Prabhupada, you read from the books, and you also hear from those devotees who have that type of conviction. By their mercy, we can get that type of conviction in our hearts also. And when we can start moving slowly towards that goal. So anyway, coming back to our point here, this person who has taken sannyas, what is his goal? His goal is Paramahamsa, completely dependent on the Lord all the time. That is the highest stage of sannyas. Now he's in the initial stages. So in the initial stages, immediately he is not able to become completely sufficient or, not depending on anyone else. He's not able to do that. So his family is sending. But that's not like permanently now he'll be there and his family will be sending him all nice feasts and prasad. He'll be sitting there and eating and people will come and he will bless them. No, that's not the idea. This is in the beginning. So this stage of sannyas is called Kutichaka. Jaise kutiya banate hain, Kutichak. He'll stay there. He'll be once a day and the rest of the time he was doing his, spiritual activities. Studying, reading, chanting, meditating, like that. The next stage is now he will give up dependence on the family and he will start begging door to door. You have to, what you have to overcome is that false ego. You have to go and beg from door to door. So after reason, now he won't even accept food from home. He will go beg door to door. We see this very nicely in Srila Raghunath Das Goswami's case. When that chapter comes, we will see how nicely, step by step, he just gives up everything. So then he will beg. And after that, he won't even stay in his village. Because now he's a little trained to depend on the Lord. So now he will leave his village. Parivrajaka-charya. He will travel. So Kutichak is living in the kutia and he's eating from his home only. Bahudak means bahut gharon se, alag-alag gharon se. Bahudak, he'll go and he'll beg. He won't just take from one home. Jaise madhukari bolte hain, right? Like a honeybee. He doesn't take only from one house so much. That's problem. This will pollute his consciousness. If he depends only on one person for his food, then he has to share all their karma. His spiritual life will be not good. A sannyasi should not be accepting from one person or one house all the time. That's not good for him. And also there is a restriction on, I think it's 4 houses, 3 houses or 7 houses. I'm not exactly sure. I think 7, but anyway. So he can collect from 3 different homes. So he won't take so much from, I think 7 maybe. So he can collect from 3 different. That means that's the maximum. He cannot go beyond that. It's not like, oh, so many people are giving, so I'll just take every. No. Maximum only from, he cannot take from one person everything that he needs, like his meal for that day. And he should go to different homes, and from each home he should take only little. That's why you see in Braja, they take 1 roti or half a roti. That's it. From each home. Not that from one home they'll take so many rotis, and no. Like a honeybee collecting from different flowers, like that. That is Bahudak. Going to different homes and begging and taking little, and also maximum. That means if he gets enough from 2, because sometimes you can go to one house and you beg and they may say nothing, aaj kuch nahi hai, you please go to another house. You have already asked in one house, that is counted. Even though you didn't get anything. Then you go to another house and you ask. They give you something. Then another house. If you have like your fare, like you eat, let's say 3 rotis, if you get that much after 3 homes or 4 homes, you stop. You don't go to the remaining. But if you don't get that even after going to 4 homes, then a maximum you can go to is 7. So many conditions are there. And after 7 homes, if you don't get anything, then that's it. That day finished. Like that. Numbers I'm not sure, but try to get the principle here. Exactly how many homes, that number I'm forgetting. But this is the principle. When you're begging also, not that you can just beg and people are giving you so much, you just collect everything and keep in your house. Your consciousness will be polluted. So that's why, Mahaprabhu, his servant Govinda, he collected extra haritaki to keep for next day. And Mahaprabhu said, this is not the mentality of a sannyasi. This is the mentality of a grihastha, to stock things. Therefore, you're not fit. So you go home and get married. Bahudak. Then we have Parivrajaka-charya. Bahudak is in the village. He's going door to door and begging. Now next step is Parivrajaka-charya. He's just traveling all over the world, not connected to his village anymore. He's just free. He's not there now. It's not that you take a train, go and come back here. Not like that. He's just going everywhere now. And what does he do? Parivrajaka-charya. He's traveling and he's preaching about the glories of the Lord. That means now even more dependence on the Lord. At least in the village, people know you. You go every day to the same places. They know you. Oh, he's coming today. They will give you donation, some roti they will give. But now you're going to new places. Nobody knows you. That means you're depending on the Lord. My Lord is there. Everything belongs to the Lord. Wherever I go, he will provide. He is there as Paramatma everywhere. Dependence. Parivrajaka-charya. And ultimately, Paramahamsa. Paramahamsa means swan, the supreme swan. Swan does not, even if you give, water and milk mixed, it will throw out the water and keep only milk. Like he'll only take the essence. He won't take. So he's completely on the transcendental platform now. Paramahamsa. This is how a sannyasi progresses. So therefore, why I explain this is sannyasi, Prataparudra Maharaj said that he wanted an interview with Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu. Sarvabhauma Bhattacarya said that won't happen. Why? Because he's a virakta, parama virakta sannyasi. And he stays in solitude, right? Virakta sannyasi teho rahena nirjane, where there's no other people. That's why I was telling you. They don't depend on society for anything. Even when they're traveling, it is to do benefit to others, not because where will I get my food? That's not the reason why they travel. That's already over. In the previous stages, Kutichak Bahudak stages only, that is finished. That dependence on others for his maintenance. He's progressing now. So when he's traveling, he's not traveling to collect something. He's traveling to give Krishna consciousness. This is the consciousness of a sannyasi. So here, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is saying, Virakta sannyasi teho rohena nirjane. He stays in isolation, in solitude. He doesn't stay in society. Swapne ho na kurena teho raja darshan. Sapne mein bhi wo ek raja ka darshan nahi karenge. Even in dreams, he's not going to meet a king. Therefore, getting interview with him is not happening. Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu is in the renounced order and is very much detached from worldly affairs. He stays in solitary places, and even in dreams, he does not grant interviews to a king. We'll stop there today. Thank you so much for staying longer. Śrī Caitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Samaveta Gaura
की जय
Ancha
कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। कृष्णवृंद की जय। थैंक यू माता जी।
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Madhya. Actually, CC is like that. We go on. It feels like going on and on.
I feel like that too, but we have to stop and continue our things.
CC is very nectarian.
Mataji,
CC is very nectarian.
isn't it? Yes, it is actually. Yeah.
Chaitanya, both CC and the Chaitanya Bhagavad as well.
Chaitanya Bhagavat. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.